All right, so tonight we're making plaques to mount some deer heads on that we dipped in another video. So this is an unstained finished product, but you can see what we're doing is we're tracing out the pattern. So you cut out half the pattern and then just mirror it. You just draw a line down the middle of your plank of wood, like you can see right there. And that way you guarantee you get the same shape on both sides, unless you're like some sort of rocket scientist and have some way I don't know about. But so we're gonna cut this out with a jigsaw. You want to use a fine wood blade, and then we're gonna route the edges off of these things. So take a jigsaw. You got a fine tooth blade on here, and just take your time and really work the edges real smoothly. Or if you lean this thing at all one way or the other, you're gonna mess it up your cut. So you always want to make sure you keep it flush against that wood and just follow your line. I use pencil so that it doesn't bleed. If you do Sharpie, it's going to bleed real wide, and you'll see it even after you cut it. And this gives you a smoother line. All right, so we've got our edges cut out, and this is just a 3/4 inch board, 1x12 from Lowe's. We actually went to Home Depot, and that's all you need. We cut it into 1 foot sections, and then it's 6 foot on each side of your template, and it fits a deer skull nicely or a turkey fan. All right, safety first. Next, we're going to hit it with a router. All right, so you go all the way around this thing, but if you look, this is just a Ryobi, pretty cheap cordless router, and you got all these different bits you can use with it to get different borders around everything. But we went with a step down, kind of like a half round here. So that's what we're doing, and you can see on this board, we're just tracing the edge. This roller makes sure that you don't, it'll ride this edge so you can't mess it up. You just follow along the edge and just basically just keep on getting it. So that's what we're gonna do. That's cool. So, bam. So we're working with, and then just take some pretty light grade sandpaper here, and just clean up anywhere you got a little rough edge. And however good you do on your job tracing and cutting corresponds directly with how well you do with your router, because it's going to follow the same edge. So make sure you take your time, make everything match, and you'll end up with a good product. There you go. So here we are. We've done 2 coats of stain now, and this is just some, let's see, we got here some Cabot, and we did golden oak, and it turned out really good, I think. This is going to soak in, and then I'm going to hit it with a coat of Captain's varnish and make it look really nice. And we're going to mount up the couple racks that we hydro-dipped in another video that I did. So stay tuned, see how these things turn out. So I just finished hitting these things with a coat of Captain's varnish from West Marine. That's this stuff right here. And you can see these plaques turned out awesome. I ended up wood burning this plaque for Jackson. This is going to be for the first deer he ever killed. And I got the date inscribed in there. It looks like a 2-year-old scrolled it in there, so it's kind of fitting. But there you go. Finished up the plaques. Looking sweet. I actually ended up using a soldering iron to do my wood burning here, and it turned out pretty good. So you can always improvise. My other one is stuck behind these walls, so I had to make do with what I had. But there you go. Make your own deer plaques at home. Easy peasy. So we Captain's varnished the plaques, and they turned out really glossy, beautiful. Drilled 2 holes in it, And then we're going to take a piece of household wiring. This is just stripped out of a piece of 10-2, I think. So you take this and you're going to fish it through that hole right down in there. And you run the wire through that, and then you run the wire through your plaque. So got your wire, got your rack, and you can just work in any direction you can get it through there. And when you bring it out the other side, make sure you bend it as you go. And as you can see, that wire fishes right through there. Now you come all the way back through. That way you can get the other end of the wire bent up. Just works easier that way for some reason. And then you bend these out. And I like to leave them where they're not the exact same length so that you're not fighting two holes at the exact same time. Stop that. Alright, so I got the wire through the base of the skull. And we're just going to take this through one, line the other one up, pop it through, and bam. We'll attach it in the back and have a plaque. You can see the wire kind of has a cool look to it. Instead of using just like zip ties or something crazy like that, the copper kind of looks cool. And you can see it comes out of the back, and you can either twist this or you can run a screw in it. But you want to just tighten these down, and I'll show you the next step after that. Alright, so you take two copper wires that you pulled through, twist them a couple times, then I pre-drill this with a drill bit. It's just a regular exterior gray screw. And if you look, I'll run that all the way through the skull when you do the pre-tap. And then all you gotta do is that helps hold that skull on there from swiveling. If you do just this, it'll try to pivot back and forth. So this anchors it down for you. Now that you got your skull firmly attached to your base plate here, you take this leftover copper wire, your tag ends, twist them together, and it gives you a loop to hang this thing on the wall, and you're done. Take this puppy, hang it on up there. There you go. Got a deer skull. Mounted for, you know, took about $8 in spray paint, maybe $8 in materials on the plaque, and there you go. You got a way to preserve one of these memories for a long time. There it is.